This is a driving video of Taiji. We're going to be driving around through the town to try to help. Some people have asked about where things are at in Taiji, so hopefully this kind of helps people get the layout of how the town's set up. And we're coming in from Katsura, so here's the Whale Windmill and the Circle K, and we'll make a left. And then we'll be going over the bridge. You'll probably notice the dolphins on each side of this bridge from the movie The Cove. And just as soon as you pass this bridge, you're gonna come to like very first area where there's some boats that are tied up. None of these are hunting boats. These are all fishing boats that are probably owned by private fishermen. But as we come around this corner, you'll see another landmark of Taiji that's probably noticeable to some from the movie. It's these two big giant right whales that are on a pole here. And we still have a little ways here before we get into the town. The first thing that we're going to pass that is probably of notice to anybody is the Dolphin Base, which is the company that takes the dolphins out of the cove and trains them for captivity. And it's on the right and left here. The dolphins at Dolphin Base, including Misty, they're kept. Misty's pen was originally behind this fence right here. So this is all right on the left. They have dolphins on the roof of the building. You can park in this hotel parking lot here. Most of the times they don't get too mad if you do. If not, you just park down the street and have to walk back. It's not that big of a town, so walking isn't really that much of a problem. And then the next thing that we'll come across is another landmark with the two right whale flukes that are sticking up out of the ground that are actually big water fountains. And you'll notice that there's those boats in the movie that look like a dolphin and a turtle. They come out of Katsura and they bring people over to Taiji, and they come in right at this area right here. So you can actually just, if you stay in Katsura, you could bring a boat in and get off at the boat right there. That kind of helps if you don't want to rent a car or have any other way to get around. And the next thing that we'll be coming up on is the Taiji Whaling Museum, which is the large building to the left up here. Parking lot to the right. There's captive dolphins directly behind this and inside it, and that Taiji Whaling Museum is notorious for captive dolphins. And then of course the next thing that we'll be passing after you make this turn to the right is the cove itself. And I'm just going to drive by it at this point, but it's right here on the left. To the right is the parking lot. And this is all public beach, national park. The hills on each side of this is basically called Tsunami Hill. And then we'll go through this tunnel and we'll get into the main part of the town. This is more or less of a residential area. The ocean is just about a block over to our left. There's a giant seawall there that you can look out, and you can see the area between the Taiji Harbor and the Kill Cove. So a lot of times the boats will work up and down that coastal line right there. And now we make another right turn, and we're coming into the Taiji Harbor area. This is the city building here on the left, fire department. And this is the Taiji Harbor on the left here, which is the location where the banger boats are all kept. So left turn all the way around the harbor here. There's a police car directly in front of me there that's always parked there. I don't even know if they actually have a cop in this town. I've never seen him. Most of the cops come in from Shingu. These are the banger boats that are all tied up along the road here. These are the boats that they drive the dolphins into the cove with. We're still passing them. They have quite a few. And this area, this is where the fishermen work. This is the Fishermen Union building coming up here to the left, and then right directly past the Fishermen's Union there's a slaughterhouse on the left, and across the street on the right is the supermarket, which is owned in cooperation basically with the Fishermen's Union, so that you can actually buy dolphin meat right there in that supermarket. Then we'll come around another left, and we'll make a left turn into the parking lot for the pier on the harbor. So this is the big pier in Taiji, and there's dolphin pens directly in front of me, right along that seawall over there. Those pens are owned by the fishermen and the Fishermen's Union, but the dolphins inside the pens are owned by Dolphin Base. And basically they bring them over here, and they're just kept until there's room available basically over at Dolphin Base. And as they export a dolphin over to China, Korea, wherever it's going to go, they'll bring a dolphin from Taiji Harbor to take over to the sea pens at Dolphin Base to take its spot and start its training. And straight across the building with the overhead doors there, it's out of sight now, but you could have looked quickly enough. That was the Fishermen's Union. That's where they bring the dolphins in to slaughter them, right there. Then we'll just drive around the pier here a little bit, and I'll take you guys up on a hilltop where we can actually overlook Taiji Harbor, and you can see those sea pens a little bit better from up there. It's basically where those cars in the distance are going. These are public restrooms right here, which do come in handy if you're out on this pier all day long. And we'll make a left turn here, and we'll go up the hill. And this car that I'm driving is a very small 4-cylinder, so while I got some flat land here, I'm gonna have to try to get some speed up, but you gotta be careful because of this parking lot. People pull out in front of you, park in the middle of the road. But if I don't get the speed up, I'll never make it up this hill. So here we go, up the hill. You can kind of start seeing the ocean out there to the left a little bit. Taiji is very, very beautiful. It's got a lot of volcanic rocks along the coast. It'd be a great place for diving and other types of tourism. Now, if I was to make a left turn up here, I could go down to basically the old whaling station, which is sort of like a lighthouse that they lit with fire when someone looked out over the water and they could see the right whale out in the distance, and then the rest of the town would canoe out after it once they saw that light being lit up on there. But we'll come down this road, and if you ever drive down this road, you're going to want to be extremely careful. It's only wide enough for a car. You can even put a bicycle next to the car on this thing. And there's a really steep ditch on each side of this, as you can see. So if you drop a tire off in that, you're going to be in some trouble. And if a car's coming up while you're going down, or going down while you're going up, someone has to reverse to back up, so it can be kind of tricky. But when you're up here, this is a nice little spot, and you can see the sea pens down there right next to the seawall, and you see there's a boat sitting next to the sea pens. That's actually the gutting barge that they take the dolphins out there to gut them, and then they bring them into the slaughterhouse to finish the butchering up. And there's the pier straight down there where we were at. You can see the buildings along the main part of Taiji. But look at the coast. I mean, it really is a really pretty place. it's a shame that all of this evil and killing has to happen here. Okay, so we'll cut through the video here just a little bit, and then we'll drive back down the hill, and I'll show you a little bit more of Taiji. There's not a whole lot to the main part of this town. There's a few shops and mostly residences right around the bottom part of this hill, but for the most part, you know, we stay out of that area. There's no reason really to be there or anything. Most of the action is either going to happen along the Taiji Harbor, over at Dolphin Base, at the Cove, or at the seawall area that I was telling you about between the harbor and the Cove. So once we come down off this, this is a road that comes out right on the incline going up the hill. So we'll make a left to go back down the hill. You can see the residential area to the left. And then we'll be coming up to the slaughterhouse on the right here, just as we turn the corner. Here's the slaughterhouse. There's a few overhead doors on this side and a lot of overhead doors on the other side. On the left is the supermarket right here, and then immediately to the right of that is the Fisherman's Union building. This is the parking lot with the fishermen's trucks in it. And then this is the so-called banger boats, all lined up along the side of the harbor here. Police car to the left, go around the corner. Now instead of cutting back around to the right and going back by the Cove and everything, what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut a left here. And this is sort of a shortcut to get back to the highway, which brings us out really close to Dolphin Base. So we'll go through this tunnel up here and take a look at the things on the side of the tunnel. You know, we got a well and a well fluke on each side of there. There's a lot of art, you know, whales and dolphins all throughout this town. You can find them on manhole covers, buildings, streets, fence posts. You know, it's just like Rick says in the movie, if you didn't know any better, you'd really think this was a town that loved whales and dolphins. So here we're going to be coming back out toward the highway right here. If I make a left, you'll be going back towards the Circle K. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull out here and make a right. Unfortunately, there's no way, from, you know, in a driving video to really see the sea pens at Dolphin Base. But I'm going to pull into the hotel up here. This is all Dolphin Base to the left. This is their big privacy fence here. This building right there on the left side here that's where the trainers usually stay. And that concludes our trip through Taiji.